And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Yes, it's evening where I am. Good evening. Or should I say good afternoon, good morning, good night, depending on where you're tuning in from. My name is Nipun. I am joined today by my co host, Matt, and we are here to discuss the absolute roller coaster that was Chelsea versus Tottenham at 3 Point Lane. 3 points collected, rent collected. They are now vindicted till the next game, as Eunice would say. So, yeah, how are you feeling, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I'm good. We're second place. We beat Tottenham, even though we gave them like a two goal head start effectively at the beginning of the game. They still couldn't do it. Tottenham fans are crying. I'm just telling them that, listen, you guys aren't a big club. You at best, your position is fighting for Europa Conference League. But mid-table is where you deserve to be. So just pipe down and just respect where you are, because that's the best you're gonna get.
Facts. So, were you at any point scared that we were going to lose? You know, when we went 2-0 down because of Mark Cucurella doing stupidness? Were you at any point scared that we were not going to turn this around? Because I was fully confident that we were going to turn it around.
But I was assuming this before the game had even started, that this would be typical Tottenham to lose at Bournemouth, beat City twice, lose to whoever else, that Crystal Palace and Ipswich and all that, and then they'd come to us when we were on smashing form and beat us. So when we went 2-0 down, I thought, wow, this is just what I said before. This is just coming to fruition, and then Chelsea FC completely shut me up, which I like it when Chelsea proves me wrong. I don't like to be proven right 100% of the time. So fantastic Chelsea, and yeah, silly old Tottenham.
Yeah, my my work colleague always she's a Spurs fan. She always tells me, "Oh, well, Chelsea are so shit. Chelsea are so shit." Well, I didn't get any WhatsApp messages from her after the game. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I did. My mate that is a Tottenham fan did message me. To be fair, the day after, um, but yeah, I kind of destroyed him and said, because he's now Ange out, and I'm like, don't be so ridiculous. Like,
Was
it's
was he
ridiculous.
Anjin before the game?
Yeah, I was like, don't be so ridiculous. It's not Ange's fault that you're in this position. It's the fact that you've got crap players and you've got a crap directorship, ownership, whatever. You're a crap club. Just because you've got a swanky new stadium doesn't mean you deserve to be a top club.
Yeah, they just remind me of another North London club, Swanky State. Is it just a
No,
North
but no,
London
but
thing to keep
no,
bottling stuff? Is
no,
it?
but no, but even at least Arsenal do have that pedigree of they are a top club. Whether we would like to say it or not, they are a top club. They're just not as good as they used to be. Whereas Tottenham have never been a top club, and they never will be. They're,
At
they're,
least
they're,
Tottenham
they're,
have something Arsenal don't.
they're a cosplay top four club. They dress up, they look the part, but they're absolutely terrible. And you take the cosplay off, and it's just some weird nerd dressing up, trying to be a top club. They're effectively Brentford in a swanky stadium. At least that's insulting Brentford, because at least Brentford have got a good recruitment strategy. Tottenham, mate.
Well, they'll win the same amount of trophies.
Well, I'd actually say Brentford are more likely to win a cup than Tottenham are in the next 5 years.
That's a bold statement. That's a bold statement.
Well, I don't think Tottenham are going to win a trophy. Neither are Brentford, but Tottenham are not going to win a trophy.
At least they have more European pedigree than Arsenal. That's
Who
something
Tottenham?
they will always have over Arsenal.
Who Tottenham?
Yeah, they have 2 Europa Leagues.
for me, that's irrelevant because they're not Champions Leagues.
But Arsenal have no European pedigree at all.
Yeah, but Arsenal have God knows how many league titles above us. When's the last time Tottenham won a league title? My dad wasn't even born when Tottenham won a league title last.
My grandmother is the only person in this where I'm staying now. Only 3 people here have seen Tottenham win a trophy.
Let's just put it this way: none of my family that are alive have seen Tottenham win a trophy.
So yeah, my aunt and so literally no one in my generation. Both my parents weren't alive. Actually, my dad was. No, no, sorry. Yeah, I see you.
Big up, Josh.
Big up, big up. Is he in a lot of Chelsea Perspective streams?
I'm not actually on the streams as much, so I don't know. But I hope I hope he has bought the best Chelsea membership that you can get to see my beautiful face once a week.
Go subscribe to Chelsea Perspective if you haven't already.
But yeah, Nippin, what did you think of Cucurella's mistakes?
I'm going to take the shameless approach and say he was just doing it to give Tottenham false hope.
Fair enough. I mean, for me, I mean, I don't take too much weight into him because it's just as simple as he wore the wrong fucking boots. Whoever told him that they were the right boots to use, or if he thought they were the right boots to use, then you're an idiot. Because there was no the type of boots he had on, you shouldn't be wearing them unless it's like a warm, dry summer's day and there's been no rain on that grass for ages. Which, to be fair, every Premier League pitch is watered anyway, so you don't need them boots. Why you have them boots, I don't know. But you could see that was the mistake. He wouldn't have slipped either of them 2 times if he had the right boots on. So for me, it should be
It would have literally been 4-1.
4-1. Yeah, I forgot Son's goal. But yeah, it would have been so easy. They wouldn't have scored either of them goals if Cucurella didn't slip, because they would have never have got through. As simple as that. But it's what it is. It didn't make any difference in terms of the result, and Cucurella's still been a fantastic left back for us this season. So I'm not going to make too many complaints about it.
Sure.
What's next?
So I saw a poll going saying what was more entertaining, our 4-3 win against United or our 4-3 win against Tottenham. I'd say United, because I was genuinely scared that we were going to lose. Because with Tottenham, at no point did I actually feel we were going to lose that game. Whereas with United, I was like, oh my God, we are actually going to lose to these shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I think United, definitely, I think they were just more. I don't know how to explain it really. It was like you said, it was a bit more of a scare factor. I mean, I was not very confident when it was 2-0, but once we started scoring again, I had faith that we were going to go on to win the game, and I think.
And it's the fact that the shittest players scored in the Man United games.
Yeah, there was a bit more jeopardy in the United game, I felt, than this game, because I don't think Tottenham really offered much at all.
Look, I know a lot of Chelsea fans don't think like me, but I think Tottenham are irrelevant. look, I don't like them, but I don't hate them. I just don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when it comes to hating, there are only, when it comes to actually hating a club like proper, I can only say there are four: Celtic, Barcelona, Man United, and Arsenal.
I mean, I wouldn't even really put Man United in that bracket, really, to be honest. I mean, I know why. I mean, Celtic. Yeah, I think I hate that club is a horrible club. Um, Barcelona, of course, for many reasons, and Arsenal. Yeah. Um, for me, being in the area of Essex that I am, I think West Ham's another one of them clubs for me personally, but I don't expect that to be everyone from in a Chelsea point of view. That's just a bit more my own personal stand-ins and
Couldn't
location. But apart
couldn't
from that,
care
I
less
wouldn't.
about
I,
couldn't care less about them either.
well, yeah, but I'm saying the area of London you're in, you shouldn't have you don't have to worry about that. Whereas for me, it's a bit more of a local personal standpoint rather than actual meaningful for Chelsea. But that's a bit different. But that's the only other team I'd include. Otherwise, it is Arsenal, Barcelona, and Celtic to a point. But even that's coming from more just a Chelsea Rangers connection rather than directly Chelsea.
Yeah, I have other reasons to hate Celtic, which I'm going to say off, which I'm not going to say any of them on screen. You know exactly what I mean, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Tottenham get battered everywhere they go. Yeah, they do. Except at Man City. Speaking of
Well,
Man City, did you hear that their charges have gone all the way back up? They're
would have
they're
been all the way
they're
back
up to
up.
100 and they're up to 130 now.
They've got more.
I think I read it somewhere. I think I looked at it somewhere. Do you think they're going to get punished?
Actually, I actually find at this point them adding more charges, I actually that makes me feel a bit less confident because for me,
What do you mean less confident?
of Man City actually getting punished for it because I feel like
Really?
if you've
Does it
already
not make
got
them more guilty though?
no, because if you're throwing 100, if you've got 115 charges already on them, and you're confident that they're going to get done with them 115 charges, you wouldn't need to throw anything else at them because you've already got them banged to rights. Whereas if you feel they're gonna get away with the charges, the 115, by throwing by just throwing everything you can at them, any bloody charge you can, is showing a bit. For me, it shows more desperation that they're trying to find something to get them done. Um, it's that typical mudslinging type thing that's done around a lot of times. You just try and throw everything to see what sticks. Um, but if that's true, it gives me a bit more worry about the case. But
So do you think they go what's the worst do you think would happen to them? I know the ideal thing is that they get banished into League 2. But what do you see the worst happening to them? Like realistically.
um, severe point deduction.
What, not even relegation to the championship?
Oh, I'd like it, but I don't think it'll happen.
Because a lot of people saying, "Oh, they get relegated to the championship, they'll come straight back up." I'm not so sure because a lot. Do you not think a lot of their players would leave?
Yes, but they still should have more than enough to get back up.
The only player I see, I only see the English core staying if they go,
Yeah, but
if they get relegated.
Nipping, they could just buy every talented. They could look at every championship team and go, who's your best player? They could look at the championship and go, who's the best goalkeeper in the championship? And they'll pick him. Who's the best left back? Pick him. And they'll just pick all the best players and come back up again. The problem will be is what can they do once they're back in the Premier League?
Well, Juventus managed to win 5 league titles
But it depends
after
on.
banishment, after they got banished.
No, but it depends. Obviously, they've got a lot of revenue right now, but how much of that revenue will they have when they come back in the Premier League? They may have to bit that, and the amount they'll have to spend to catch up is enormous. I mean, there's not that massive expenditure difference in the Serie A as there is now in the Premier League.
Do you think financial fair play was something imposed to make the Premier League more competitive?
I think it was to help. It was done to try and help people spend within their means. I think it was done to try and stop football clubs from going absolutely bust. And I think it was a way of trying to ensure that the big clubs don't spend unlimited amounts of money. I think it has in some ways worked, because I think you see more of your Villas, your Brightons, your Newcastles actually being able to spend at least for a season or two, but ultimately long term it's still pinning them back. I think personally, I think that the financial fair play regulations could be done just more efficiently, and I think there needs to be more rules added into it on a worldwide basis. I mean, my simple thing what you do is a worldwide wage cap, because at
But do you not think
the biggest expenditure of a club, every club, is wages. The times when you see clubs go to absolute shit is when clubs are spending wages 200% of their revenue, because that's what players are demanding. Well, if you put a wage cap, and it might have to be also a wage cap depending on what league you're in, and obviously contracts can be made that if you get relegated, you drop to that amount, the highest amount, and whatever. But I think that will also help the big clubs. So Chelsea can't, if Villa bid for, I don't know, 60 million for a particular player, and Chelsea bid the same, Chelsea then can't go and say, "Oh, we'll double your wages," because if they'll just go up to if they both have the price cap, then the player can genuinely choose what club he wants to go to rather than the big club paying the most. I think it will allow everyone to be much more financially responsible.
And do you
but it
think
needs to be done worldwide.
the purchase of the 2 South Americans will come back to bite us?
Which Gustavio and Paez?
No, Caicedo and Enzo.
Why would they come back to bite us?
We paid north of 100 million for both.
Yeah, and
Does that not breach financial fair play?
well, it hasn't at this stage, and I don't think it will continually. As long as Chelsea are effective with their finances, I mean, this summer we should be fine, because we're getting 60 million just from participating in the Club World Cup. So with revenue from the zone, so we're absolutely fine. I don't think we're going to have any problem at all. Because we've worked hard and we've worked smart in terms of buying and selling players. We've worked hard with commercial deals. Obviously, we haven't got that big deal, But I do think if Chelsea can get top four, you will see some big deals coming through in the summer. Whether that's which will be a front of shirt sponsor, and I think you'll get the Air Jordan deal, which will both be huge. I mean, they were huge enough for PSG. Being in the Premier League, the best league in the world, and being at Chelsea, I imagine that would be bigger than what PSG's is. And I think it'll be I think you will see the biggest, arguably, sponsorship deal in the Premier League.
And do you think a lot of people who criticized, Blueco and Todd Bowley and Egg Bowley, do you think they'll eat their words?
Some will. Some will be stubborn because they just want to be proved. They want to be right, and they won't admit that they're wrong. But some will be proved. Will apologise, or some will just pretend it never happened.
I can kind of guess who you're trying to go on about without actually saying their names.
I'm not going to name any names.
I'll in the private chat.
Yeah, I'm not going to name any names on public chat, but I'll have a look at your private chat comment when it comes in. What next topic do you want to speak about?
Any of those names? I think you're referring to quite a few of them.
All three of them names. I actually didn't. Actually, the name I thought you was going to put, you didn't put down.
You put it there. So, who would you say your man of the match is?
I actually got asked this the other day, and I didn't actually know. I'm going to flip it back at you. Who did you think the man of the match was?
See, it was such a good performance all round. I actually can't say who it was. I'm probably going to say Cole Palmer, though.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say Cole Palmer naturally with the.
Or Jadon Sancho. Did he not get an assist for that Enzo goal?
Yeah, I think he did get a goal and assist. I think a lot of people did say that.
So either him or Cole Palmer for me.
Yeah, I'd say Sancho just because I've said some things about him in the past, and he's proven me wrong, which is nice. I'd say Tottenham's man of the match is Cucurella's boots, though.
Yep.
No doubt about that.
No,
there was definitely no.
I honestly think that Ange is a good manager. He's just, and you know who else I think is a good manager? Ruben Amorim. The only reason they're just surrounded by shit footballers.
You can only do best with what your tools you've got, and if tools you got are crap, you can only do a subpar job.
By that logic, Thomas Tuchel. Did we not have quote unquote subpar players when Thomas Tuchel walked through the door?
Who?
Mason Mount.
I think they were at the time they were doing well. Not to say they're not subpar now, but at the time they were doing well. You had a lot of good players in that Tuchel team, whether it was Rudiger,
Rudiger, Silva,
Mendy, Silva, Chilwell.
Mendy fell off a cliff, though. To be fair,
but after, not during.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thomas Tuchel assembled a very good team. It was not perfect, but they were still top players. Name a top player that Tottenham have. And name a top player that United have.
I can.
A serious
That
top player. I don't mean just someone that's good for patches. I mean actual top player.
Son.
But how old is Son? Like, he's getting to the end of his career, so yeah, that's why.
32.
That's
He turns 33 in July.
yes, but he's getting towards the end of his career, so that's one very older player out of 27-man squad. I'd argue Mickey van der Ven is also a very
Yeah,
good
he's
centre
going to
back.
be snapped. Yeah, he's going to be
But
snapped
that,
up
but that
by a
for
big
me,
club soon. He's going
for
to be,
me,
mark my
for me,
words.
but for me in Tottenham, that's as far as you go. In Man United,
Well, we've taken one of their top wingers.
sure, I would comfortably say no one. Alicia
You
Keys,
don't rate
no
you
one,
don't rate
no one.
you don't rate Garnacho?
No, I think he's an absolute baby. Attitude stinks, and I wouldn't have him anywhere near my club.
Let's turn this into a bit of a slander session for United, because why not? Because there's some more drama come out of Man United. Dan Ashworth gone. I mean, he should, in my opinion, they sacked him because he wanted the best manager for everyone else, which was Gareth Southgate. He
No,
didn't want Ruben Amorim.
I think whatever the reason is, that is terrible business for Manchester United. When they've skyrocketed the ticket prices, when they've made redundancies to like genuine people, like not high level figures, and then you've spent however much it cost, I think it was 3-4 million just to get Dan Ashworth through the door, and now you're going to have to pay him a lot, probably at least double that to push him out the door, plus whoever you're going to have to get in. That is just
But do you see why
it's
they sacked
criminal
him, though?
financially.
Do you see
No,
why they sacked
no,
him, though?
no, I don't see why they've sacked him.
He wanted Gareth Southgate. And they're
Yeah,
saying, no, we didn't want him. So,
but
and he had a disagreement with
wouldn't,
Ruben Amorim as
no, but
well.
wouldn't you have had this discussion with him before? I don't think Dan Ashworth's only just gone, I want Gareth Southgate.
So it must have been something else as
I
well.
just think Man United are just crap at recruiting anyone, whether it's directors, managers, players, coaches, whoever, dinner ladies,
Who would
groundsmen.
you who would you say has a more massive ego? And try and be as unbiased as possible. Alejandro Garnacho or Jadon Sancho?
Um, I think Garnacho has a bigger ego. I don't think Sancho is necessarily an ego problem. I just think sometimes he's mentally. I think he has just mental health issues, which causes him to do stupid things. I also think he's a bit petulant, but I don't think he comes from a point of I deserve to have everything in the world. Blah blah blah.
I'm sorry, if I'm managing, if I'm a football manager and I have someone like Alejandro Garnacho in my team, and if he comes up to me and says, "Oh, I deserve to start," I'm saying, "No, get on the effing bench. You earn your place in the. You have to earn your place in the starting 11."
Yeah, I mean, I think with the Sancho situation, I think it was a player that was dealt wrong, couldn't handle maybe the pressure of being at United, and didn't have a dressing room that was behind him. Whereas at Chelsea, he's come to a club where everyone is behind him, everyone is supporting him and backing him, and he's able just to play his football with less pressure, even though it is still a big club. I think he's under the right manager of Enzo, who can put an arm around him, but also keep him up to standards. And I don't think we've seen any standards drop from Sancho, and he's played very well, and he's actually getting better and better each game. So
What were your
not a
thoughts on
problem.
the Man United fan saying "Thank you, Chelsea"?
Well, Man United share a brain cell between their whole fan base, so it doesn't surprise me.
What were your thoughts on the ones? No, but there are certain ones saying, "You know what, we made a mistake."
Yeah, but that's very few. And when I say very
Yeah,
few, I really do mean very few. But that club,
because
that club is terrible from top to bottom.
you know what, I love. I'm loving Man United's downfall.
Oh, I love it, but
You know, the only club's downfall I'm loving more than theirs is Arsenal.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say they're necessarily in a downfall, but not yet
Mm,
anyway.
downfall. They're not. They always bottle the league title. They literally have the Spanish Brendan Rodgers. I'd argue that Brendan Rodgers is better than him
Yeah, but
because Brendan Rodgers had Liverpool in a title race and bottled it. Do you not see the common denominator that he keeps bottling?
I do. I mean, arguably, I can understand that, but would you say Liverpool bottled the league all this time, apart from the one time they won it? Because arguably, you could go. Liverpool won the league in COVID. If it wasn't for COVID, they've bottled every league.
Nah, they. I argue they would have still won it if it wasn't if there was no
No, but
COVID.
let's say that the COVID season was a bit of a strange season. Anyway, take
No,
that season out.
no, forget, no, look, this COVID thing. If Chelsea were the COVID champions, would you show the same energy?
No, but I'm not saying that it's a legitimate title. But what I'm saying is, out of Klopp's 7, 8 years, arguably you could say he's bottled it every single year apart from one, which conveniently is a year which was a bit strange in the normal circumstances. So would
But
you say that
still,
Klopp is a bottler in the same
mm,
way? Because that with the logic you're
because
saying.
I'd argue they'd still win the league if there was no COVID. But
No,
we can.
no, but yeah, I mean that it's a lot of ifs, buts, and maybes with that. But what I'm saying is, the majority of Klopp's campaign, he bottled the league in your eyes.
Mm.
So would you
Well,
say
Pep
that?
was just
Would you?
better.
Would you?
Pep was just
Would?
better.
But that's what I think with Arsenal's last couple of years.
But
I
do
think
you not
if
think that
no, but
when they
if
were 8 points, they were 8 points clear at one point, Arsenal? I'm sorry, if you're 8 points clear at the top of the league in April, and then you capitulate in that manner, it's a bottle job.
I mean, can we say that there was games in hand? There was a game in hand at least, so it's 5 points really. Um,
But still,
and then
capitulating
you only need one or two
towards the
results to
end
not
of
go
that
your way.
season,
I mean, yeah,
that's
it was.
still a
Yes, it
bottle
was.
job, Matt.
No, but it was a bit of a capitulation. But it was again. I mean, you look at the points tally that they had. Most other seasons pre Man City's dominance, they'd be winning the league. So it's for me. For me, it's not. It's not that. It's not really. I'm not really in that kind of idea of saying that they've bottled every league. They just lost to a inhuman team, which potentially, as we're going to say, is a rule breaking team. So
Do you
yeah,
think we broke the rules with Abramovich? Let's be real, Matt.
no, there was no rules to break. Name a rule that we broke in that time. Name the specific law that we broke. Nippin, you're mute. Oh, he's gone. Course, Nippin's having troubles, but yeah, I mean, my point is that there was no rule to break, and you can't backdate a law.
Hello, hello, hello. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you're back. All good. You can hear you now.
Do you not think that's why we got a transfer ban because of financial fair play?
No, we got a transfer ban because we messed up and signed underage players, which plenty of other clubs had got similar bans for that exact reason. That's a transfer ban that was completely separate to financial fair play rules. It was a completely Nippin's gone again. It was a completely different rule. For the rest of you guys, but he's coming back.
Sorry, that was my mum. She kept calling me, so I had to tell her I was in a podcast.
That's right. So what I'm saying, Nippin, it's a completely different rule. It's nothing to do with financial fair play. Of course, we broke that rule, but we're not. It's nothing to do with the financial fair play aspect.
But we broke a rule and we paid the price for it.
Yeah. But I assume you were meaning early Abramovich.
No, I meant in the latter years when we got done for, what do you call it? Yeah, in which we got transfer banned.
Yeah, I mean that was a separate issue that Real Madrid had been caught doing. Barcelona had been caught doing and had a transfer ban themselves. Atletico Madrid had a ban themselves for doing the same thing. It was all
Real
to do
Madrid
with,
have never
yeah, but
been given
Real Madrid get away with it. That's the difference because Real Madrid are Real Madrid, but the Atletico Madrid and Barcelona both got banned for the exact same thing, and it was to do with underage, effectively tapping up underage talent. For us, one of the prime people that was in question was our signing of Andres Christensen.
Did he not come to?
And another one was Gael Kakuta.
Was Andreas Christensen not an academy signing?
Yes, but
and we promoted him from Cobham.
No, but it was how we signed him into our academy was the problem. Because we'd effectively, I don't know the full details of it, we'd effectively paid his father like lots of money for him to come to us, which is not legal.
So that's basically that's bribery.
It is.
There's no other way of putting it.
It's tapping up, and it was dodgy. It was dodgy as hell. And we did the same
bribery.
We did the same with Gael Kakuta. At least with Christensen, he actually played all right for us at times, and actually made a point for the club. Gael Kakuta did nothing for us, and we still got punished for him. Oh, honestly, that player was.
Who is this Gael Kakuta?
You've never heard. You don't remember Gael Kakuta? He signed for us. Oh, honestly, everyone talks about like Danny Drinkwater being the worst signing. Gael Kakuta for me is one of the worst signings Chelsea ever made. We spent actual money on him. He never played a single minute for the club and resulted in us getting transfer ban. Enough said. By the way, Nip and I have 12 minutes before I have to go exactly.
Yeah. I think I'll wrap up early because I need to discuss a few things with you off camera. So just quick player ratings and then we wrap up.
Cool.
So Robert Sanchez, what are we giving him?
6, 7. Didn't do much wrong for me.
6. Well, apart from the fact that he conceded 3.
Yeah, but I don't think any of them were necessarily like stupid goals to concede.
Yeah, one was stupidness from Cucurella. Two of them were stupidness from Cucurella.
Yeah, I
I'll
don't think.
give him a 6.5. Yeah, I'm doing 0.5s.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand a 6.5. To be fair,
Malo, wait, did he start? Yeah, Malo Gusto.
6.5 again.
I'm going for a 7. Mark Cucurella.
4.
4. You know what? I'm going to agree with you on this one. 4. So, are you giving him a 4 because he costed us 2 goals and potentially a clean sheet?
That's the main part. I mean, I'm only giving him such a high rating because for the rest of the game he was actually okay, and there's a specific circumstance of why he made them mistakes, but otherwise he would be getting lower. But I'll give him a 4 for the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. The centre backs. What are you giving them?
Both 6.
6.5 for both of them. So the midfield, Enzo, Lavia, and I think it was Palmer.
Hold on, you had Caicedo as well, didn't you? Yeah, didn't
No,
Gusto
sorry,
come
yeah,
on?
Caicedo. Oh, Enzo. Wait, well,
Yeah,
yeah, Enzo.
Gusto came on, so he was a sub. I remember now. So it was Caicedo at right back. I mean, Lavia, I'd give a 6. Caicedo, I'd give a 7.5. Enzo Fernandez, I'd give an 8.5.
I think I'll give 8s all around.
Okay.
So the front line, Sancho.
Oh, I forgot Palmer as well. Palmer, I'd give an 8.5.
Yeah. Palmer, I'm giving a 9. The front line, Sancho, um, Pedro, and Nico. What are we giving him?
Sancho, I'd give a 9. Pedro Neto, I'd give a 7. And Jackson, I'd give a 6.5.
Sancho, I'm giving a 10. Pedro, I'm giving a 7. And Nico, I'm giving an 8.
Okay. And then, yeah, I think Nkuku, 7. Felix and Vega didn't get enough time for me to prove it, and same with Madueke, so I'm not going to give them ratings. Otherwise, I'll just give them a 7 standard. Actually, no, I will give Felix a rating because I think for the Song goal, I didn't like the fact that he gave up tracking him, so actually I will say 6 for Felix.
Yeah, but tracking Son, he's a forward.
No,
Why
but they were
would
both
a forward track?
no, but it wasn't tracking in the sense of tracking him. It was he was in the area, he was defending him. Son had got past him, and instead of putting pressure on him, still he gave up and turned around and let Son run in to take a shot. Watch the goal back again, you'll see it.
Okay, so in other words, he was being a coward.
No, he just gave up. He just thought, oh, someone else could deal with it. It's a bit lazy. No, Felix has been very good this season of not doing that. It's the first time I've seen that from him this season. It was not good. I think if he carried on and put the pressure on him, yes, Son might have still scored, but at least you're trying to put the pressure on because that pressure can still make him make some sort of misjudgment and hit it wide, hit it at the goalkeeper or whatever.
And now we give the manager rating.
Uh,
So 3, 2, 1. We give it together. 3,
8
2, 1. 9
8.5.
out of 10.
Yeah, I think Caicedo didn't work maybe as well. I think, but the changes he did make, as for example, Gusto coming at half time, was better. I still think Nkuku could have come on earlier, but it is what it is.
So yeah, that brings our review to an end. Um, we will be live again on the 13th of December, scheduled most likely for the Sixth Sense. Don't know if there'll be anything between. If anything comes up, I'll make an announcement on Twitter. So yeah, before we wrap up, Matt, where can people find you?
So you can find me at Twitter on the handle below. You can find me on Chelsea Perspective membership channel. You can find me on the Blue Coat Project podcast and Went
And
Smoke
you could
podcast.
you can find me on all those socials below. You can also find me as a cameoist on Worldwide Chels. Go subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. You can also find me as an occasional caller on Football Carnage TV, ran by the Big Six's very own Grizz Khan. And you can find me on pretty much every comment section in the football content creator atmosphere. And yeah, with that being said, I shall see you all in the next video. Come on, you blues.